Legendary Mr. Skin.
Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts Mr. Skin, Jimmy Fela, and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Episode 22 of the world's most listened to podcast on the Mr. Skin website. This is the most listened to podcast on our website. The Mr. Skin podcast, of course. Jimmy Fela, Andrea Lowell, and the great Mr. Skin. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hey,
Jimmy.
Hey,
Andrea.
Doing great.
Hi, guys.
Doing
Happy
great.
holidays. We are now in the belly of the beast.
Yep.
December
Next 3 weeks are
is
going to be hell.
me.
Next 3 weeks are going to be hell.
Drinks are being poured. Food is being eaten. This is an exercise in cheating death. Are we clear on that? That's what I see the holidays as.
And it's not just the booze. With all the parties coming up, it's the food too. It's how do you stay at a reasonable weight from now till the end of the year? How do you do it, Andrea?
Dude, it's the hardest time of year. I know I'm the go-to expert because not only am I a personal trainer, but I'm also a plant-based nutritionist. So I always try to help guide my clients. But my idiocy and my poor planning, I was deciding on this being the month where I start my YouTube channel and make all these fitness videos wearing crop tops and Daisy Dukes. And I'm like, wait a minute, why would I do this at the time where I'm eating the shittiest food that I could possibly be eating?
Right.
So it's really just, guys, I'll give you my best advice. I know there's events and things going on all the time, whether it's work things or we're invited to, she rah events because of the nature of our work or family stuff. It's trying to just allow that one day or that one event to be the naughty event.
Yes.
And knowing that you're in control of your diet every other hour and every other day of that week, that year, that month. Because one day of eating like total ass, not eating ass, that's calorie free, but eating like total ass, I know, me too, will not undo your diet or health
damage
goals.
control.
Right.
That is the key. Damage control, right? So listen to this.
People who eat like the shit, they eat the leftovers for 2 weeks after and they don't stop. And then they, awaken dormant food addictions, or they just eat really heavy foods that they wouldn't normally eat. If you just do it that one day or that one party, you're not going to get that.
This is brilliant. I had a guy back when I drove a cab, named Mikey. It was Mikey. He's an interesting guy, but I was taking him to the Elk Motel, intentionally.
Yeah.
He was going there to smoke crack. Because he said,
Jesus.
He said...
that'll keep you thin, right?
No, for what he said.
Is that
that's
your
so
health
funny.
tip for us? Smoke crack?
Yeah,
lose
listen,
weight?
everybody's got a regimen, okay? You had your theory, I have mine. Now, hold on. No, Mikey told me, to piggyback on your point of damage control, Mikey had told me, this guy, that he was weaning himself off of crack, and he had enough willpower to do so if he would occasionally have a cheat day. So what he said was, he couldn't just go to a rehab. He had failed at that a few times.
I believe this.
Yes, he said he would go smoke crack every 10 to 17 days, and it was as bad as you'd imagine it to be. But he said, giving himself that cheat day, the permission to have it, made it easier for him not to do it on the other days. That's
when you're on crack,
controlled
Jimmy,
crack smoking?
Yes. I mean, this is just a thing. I don't know.
This is so baffling to me.
Well, I'm wondering, what is your state of mind? Okay, I know if a guy has 6 beers, what he's like, but if you smoke crack, what are you like? Are you passed out? Are you functioning?
I don't know.
Let me get Lamar Odom on the line. Hold on a second.
Wait, though, Jimmy, have you ever smoked crack?
No. Although a lot of people listening to the show would beg to differ. No, I haven't. No.
I'm very open about my partying, my drug use, the things I've tried. I've never tried crack, and I've never wanted to. I have no idea what kind of effect it produces. I'm wondering, does it make you kind of mellowed out, or do you want to go run a mile?
I would think it'd be like a super concentrated cocaine high is what I would think.
Andrea,
really?
No, Andrea, to your point, you want to run a mile to the pawn shop.
You just want more crack.
You just want
the problem with crack.
But
so
I was told
it's an upper.
Yes, I was told though it is such a high concentration of cocaine that you're almost like immobile.
Is your heart beating real fast? Like when
I do too much coke, I want to die.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine like a super high concentration of that. Like, I don't know.
Crack is not your friend, but it's amazing how we went.
Crack is whack.
It's amazing how we went from I'm worried about the calories I eat to smoking crack.
Welcome to the Mr. Skin podcast.
Yeah, this holiday party is off the rails. But I will say that.
But what we're learning is once in a while, no pun variant, once in a while, something. I mean, I'm not going to condone crack smoking, but when you just take an isolated incident, whether it's eating a whole pecan pie in one sitting because you're only going to do it once, or your friend Mikey smoking that crack every 17 days, it's not going to undo your overall goal.
That's the important thing, because
you just can't have the pecan pie every day.
Yeah, well, you know what though? I think you're making this really good point for people like me who do love to eat. Well,
I love to eat.
But a lot of people who are trying to diet and hold it together have that one bad day, and they get so down on themselves for having it that they kind of emotionally give up for the next 3 or 4.
No, you can't do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then it snowballs and becomes a month, then a year, then a lifestyle.
This is what
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah, I have become a better eater from being on TV every week because everyone on TV is starving. And so I almost feel pressure to kind of keep myself in shape. I just want to be like in TV shape. You know what I mean? Which is like look good in a tie and a sport coat or a leather jacket, whatever it is.
Right.
But you're right, Andrea, that I have learned only in the past year that 3 a.m. trip to the diner where you order pages 3 through 7 is not the end of the world if you get out of bed and play defense.
Yes.
And that's I really think, like, if you're listening to this at home, this might be the most valuable thing you take away from this episode today. Is that with the holiday thing coming up, because everybody means well. You're going to feel disgusting come January no matter what, but
absolutely.
You do.
Like how sick I felt after Thanksgiving, but it was okay. It was just one day.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I think if you're really trying to minimize like the emotional damage you do to yourself, you're right, Andrea. Yeah. It's that figure out where these dates are on the calendar and just budget in emotionally for the fact that you're going to like commit like nutritional Harry-Carry on December 9th or 15th. Yeah, whatever it is, and just go.
Yeah.
And it's easier to go a night of no booze and light food if you know the next night you could get a little nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think another trick too is, we go visit our families a lot this time of year and mom wants to give you all these leftovers. Yeah. Just say no. It's easier to say no when she's offering them to you than it is when they're in your refrigerator, the stuffing screaming at you, eat me, don't let me go to waste.
Let your fat ass sister take it home is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
You've never met my mom. If you leave my mom's house without taking food, she actually shoots it at your car with a t-shirt gun. She's like shooting meatballs.
That's how my parents are too.
Yeah, it's a bit.
So here's what I've done. I've given it to the homeless.
Oh.
They're so grateful. I just know if I have a whole bunch of bread, like my brother-in-law is a bread baker.
Okay.
And he'll give like 20 loaves of fucking bread to me. And I'm like, dude, if I have 20 loaves of bread, I'm going to eat those 20 loaves of bread.
Damn right.
So I just give them away.
Wow.
I like it.
Yeah.
Start your own secondhand food shop and just pass it out. No, I've done it. Skin, I got to tell you, like, it already started for me. I had my first holiday thing the other day on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. I had 2 buddies over that work on one of these shows that I write on. And we just had like a, cigar, and we're just going to eat everything imaginable and bullshit about the year. I fed my beagle. Just forget how much I ate. I fed my beagle, my dog, until he quit taking food.
That's unheard of.
Have you ever seen a dog tap out? I've never seen it before.
No.
Nope.
My little 45-pound dog tapped out and was turning down Chinese boneless spare ribs at 3 in the afternoon, away from the food.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of what I ate. Imagine if the dog tapped out, what I had gotten to.
You got to space that stuff out, man.
Yeah, so happy holidays. Let's hope we can all live through the new year and keep up all of this brilliance. So we can watch,
for sure.
So we can watch more TV and film nudity. I do know today, I have it on good authority, Skin. Maybe you might want to call this insider trading information that we're supposed to be discussing the top 10 movie nude scenes of 2016. Is my source correct?
You are correct, sir. And you know what? It's funny with the movies. There's so much television now, so much TV. I think my guys were telling me last week that there's 36 different networks with that have, I think, 102 shows that we track for MrSkin.com that actually have nudity, and that's just on television. So you forget that there's still movies out there. When I started my website back in 99, movie nudity was the lion's share of the nudity. Every Tuesday when the DVDs came out, that was a big deal. Stuff in theaters, we're always tracking what nudity was in theaters. That was like the most of the nudity when I started came from movies, but as time's gone on, obviously TV's dominated, but there's still a lot of great movies for nudity. And I think with television, people are so busy trying to keep up with all the television shows, maybe they're not seeing some of these art house movies or straight to video movies as much, because obviously in blockbusters you're not going to have nude scenes that I'm going to talk about, but there really truly was it was a great year in movie nudity. And when I go over this list with you, some you might remember, some we might not have talked about, but you'll realize like, wow, this happened this year, and this is not even counting the television nudity, just the movie nudity.
Ooh. Absolutely. And you know what? Just seeing nude scenes on the big screen, or when you're watching a 3-hour movie, it has a bigger impact.
Old time
than weekly. Oh, there's nudity again on this show. There's nudity again on this show. It's just more standout. You have sometimes a higher caliber of actor that wouldn't do TV nudity, so it's always pretty spectacular. I'm ready for it.
Well, we specialize in the skin-dependent movie because that's where you find a lot of the movies nudity. Let me start with a skin-dependent movie. As far as I was concerned, is a film called The Bronze, and this is my number 10. And I talked to you guys about this when it came out because it blew my mind. What happened was this movie, when my guys saw it at some of the film fests, they were freaking out because Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory was going to play this former bronze medalist whose star is fading, and she reluctantly trains an Olympic hopeful to do what she did, 20 years before. Well, they kept saying, like, you will not believe this nude scene by Bernadette, Melissa Rauch from Big Bang Theory. It's the most graphic, crazy scene. And thinking that, first of all, this girl's never done a nude scene. She's a big television star. She's been on The Big Bang Theory for 7 or 8 years. I couldn't believe it. Well, it turned out it was too good to be true because, and it's not even Melissa Rauch's fault. Even if she wanted to do the nude scene, she couldn't because it's so acrobatic, and they're supposed to be, her and this guy are supposed to be real former Olympians, and they have a sex scene that you got to watch it to believe it. And I put it on the list.
I mean, it's like a gold medal floor routine of sex.
Oh my God. You've never seen anything like it. It's so graphic. And it's not even Melissa Rauch. It was a body double, Michelle Durstein, that did it, who's a real, I think she's what do you call it? She's just done a lot of acrobatic.
Gymnast?
Yeah, she's gymnast, acrobatic,
stunt woman.
Cirque du Soleil girl. She's like that caliber. And if you watch the nudity, and by the way, this Michelle Durstein is completely nude. I had to put this in the best movie nude scene because even though it's not Melissa Rauch, it's supposed to be number 1, but number 2, you've never seen anything like this. And it was so graphic, they actually had to, in post-production, CGI out this girl's vagina because he's spreading her legs in front of his face and flipping her around. And you just saw, this would have got an X rating if they would have shown that. It's really incredible. What are the most amazing nude scenes I've ever seen. The only reason it's number 10 and not number 1 is because it isn't Melissa Rauch. It's her body double that we didn't really know. So,
this is crazy though. It's like a P90X workout.
Yeah, Andrea, are you able to see this? Did you pull this up? So
yes, I've been seeing this. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I remember Club Dread from 2004 had Jordan Ladd doing acrobatics naked, and they actually used a real gymnast. So when she was doing the somersaults, it wasn't her, but when the topless scene was her. So this is the best since that happened, and you have to check this out. So Melissa Durstein for Melissa Rauch in The Bronze, my 10 best movie nude scene of the year.
I want to jump in here. The sexiest thing about this shot where she's upside down, to me, is the 2 suitcases on the side of the room. Because it it brings home the debauchery of the illicit hotel room hookup.
Yeah.
There's something really awesome about that. Like from my younger days, I really I don't have it in me now. I think what keeps me a decent person is social media, because you can't have one of these and not have it come back to you as like a guy who's married and holding together a family.
Right.
So like social media has kind of ruined this. But as I saw those 2 suitcases, Skin, it really took me to a nostalgic place.
Yep.
And it wasn't nostalgia for women standing upside down on their hands, because the women I date are the type of size where they can't do that.
Yeah, you ain't flipping a 6'1" woman around your hotel room.
No, that ain't going on. But
no, he's talking before that.
Oh yeah. Some of my greatest hits.
Jimmy.
I've taken on some defensive tackles in my day.
Yeah, I hear you. Been there, done that, sir. But anyway, please watch this nude scene at MrSkinPodcast.com. We have a video, a GIF of it GIF that will absolutely blow your mind, and you'll see why this is so fantastic. And like I said, if this was Melissa Rauch and she could do these moves, this would be the greatest nude scene in the history of film. So definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was number 10. Now, number 9 is Morgan Saylor in Being Charlie. And if you're a fan of or know the show Homeland on Showtime with Claire Danes, you'll remember in the first couple seasons, Morena Baccarin and Brody's daughter was this Morgan Saylor, Dana Brody. And I remember in the first few seasons, there were a lot of people that she kind of bothered. Like, I don't know, people were annoyed by her.
Like fans of the show.
Yeah, she was
fans
a despised character.
Yeah,
she was a despised character. And it was just that, I think that made her a great actress because she was just playing a part, but there was such an emotional thing with her. Well, in the second season, I believe it was, she had a sex scene. She was on the lam with this guy, and they had a sex scene, and I was surprised that it wasn't like a real good nude scene or anything, but she did show a slight hint to right breast. So it kind of surprised me. It kind of came out of nowhere, even though that show had a lot of nudity. But what happened was now she's no longer on the show. So she's doing these movies, and Rob Reiner directed this movie that was written by his son called Being Charlie. And she has a sex scene with this guy. And I want to say this too. My number one most important element of a nude scene is not the beauty of the actress, the length of the scene. It's the lighting. I'm a huge fan of natural light, daylight nude scenes, because I don't care if you're the most beautiful girl in the world, full frontal. If it's in the dark and I need a coal miner's hat to see it, then forget about it. But in the scene, it is about as well lit as a scene could be. You get great ass shot from Morgan Saylor and even a little right boobie. And it's just a very hot scene, especially if you're a fan of Homeland and remember her as Dana Brody from the show.
But you're so right. I mean, the way that the light is coming through, you can see the texture of her skin on her ass. That's what I like. There's no trickery. There's no shadowing. There's no discretion. It's just like, here it is in its natural beauty.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
It's awesome. So anyway, that is number 9 on my countdown of the top 10 movie nude scenes of 2016. Now, number 8 is a movie, Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl.
Yes.
And you might say, Mr. Skin, how could this be a 2016 movie? It came out in 2015. Well, technically what they did is they jammed it in a few theaters in late December, so that it would be eligible for an Oscar, which Alicia Vikander did win Best Supporting Actress in this movie. So it was smart what they did, but realistically, it came out where you could actually see it in the, you could see it here in January of 2016. And do you guys remember Alicia Vikander was in that movie Ex Machina last year? Where
that's where I know her from.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was like, where's that name so familiar?
Is that her ink or no? Is that from the movie?
In which?
I think that was from the movie.
In The Danish Girl, she has a lot of ink on her body.
Yeah, I think it's for the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's for the movie. Yeah, but anyway, she did that great full frontal scene in Ex Machina, which I was just blown away. I think was my third best nude scene of the year last year. But in this, The Danish Girl, not only does she win an Oscar, but she has a really good sex scene with Eddie Raidman, who is the first trans girl in Denmark. That's what the story's about. And
yes, this was a wild movie to watch. I was very emotionally kind of torn up. It was good.
Yeah. So anyway, she's nude in bed. The covers are on, but it's she's so beautiful and it's such a sexy scene. Yeah, it would have been.
She's delicate.
Yeah, it's just there's something about her that drives guys nuts, and you can see why when you see this scene. So Alicia Vikander
and foot guys too. The way she's stroking her arch of her foot, I'm sure a lot of foot fetishists went wild for this scene.
Oh,
yeah.
She's stroking her foot while she's talking to this Eddie Raymond, who it is weird because as a guy he looks like a girl, but as a girl it's just like it's
great casting because he's very androgynous.
Yes, very good point. Very good point.
So funny.
Anyway, so number 8 on my movie nude scenes, Alicia Vikander and the Danish Girl,
nice.
And that was cool. Now, did you guys hear about the movie The Neon Demon? This was a freaky art house hit about these LA supermodels and the kind of a coven of
this is ringing a bell.
vampire cannibal witches. It's a weird movie, but it's definitely it had a good cult following this year. And Jenna Malone is a makeup artist, and she hooks up with these models. And I think if it was who is the girl is Dakota Fanning's little sister, Ellie Fanning. Yeah, she's in the movie. She doesn't get naked in it, but there's a scene where Jenna Malone is she's in a tub and a little bloody, but that's okay. It's a horror movie. And in the shower is Abby Lee and Bella Heathcote, who play models, and they are gorgeous. And so you get like a babe in a tub nude watching two gorgeous models have a lesbian scene in a shower. Now, there's a lot of blood in this, which kind of had to penalize a little for because it's a little much.
But as we've learned with Drew Barrymore naked covered in blood, it can be just as hot.
That was in Doppelganger. That was in Doppelganger where you were referring to Drew Barrymore. But we call this Skingoria at MrSkin.com. We have a whole category of nude scenes from movies, horror movies especially, where actresses are covered in blood or it's bloody, and that's a whole genre we have at our website, Skingoria, and this is one of the great Skingoria scenes of all time. So
yeah,
I'm loving it.
No, it's a winning shot right there.
Yeah,
it's sensual. I like the sensuality of it, the weird lighting, even the blood.
Yeah.
I'm about it.
Yeah. So anyway, the Neon Demon, which that came in at number 7 on my list. Yeah. So number 6, I've watched this. In prepping for the show, I went back and watched these scenes again just because I wanted to make sure about my order. And I'm actually this one the more I watch it, the more it's like I'm falling in love with it, and it might move higher on the list. But at number 6 is Vale Bloom in a movie called Too Late, and she is. People might know her. She played Heather Stevens on Young and the Restless for like 5 years, and she's this gorgeous, like 5'5" blonde. And in the movie, on so many levels, I love this. First of all, she strips down completely naked, and then puts a shirt on, but only a shirt, and then walks around the house for pretty long, is showing, with just a black like sweater on, but showing bush and butt as she's walking all over the house. It's a really, really amazing nude scene. And like I said, the more I watch it, the better I like it. And I really believe that she is not wearing a Merkin, that's her bush, because it's not it's not an outrageous bush,
No, that's
and let me tell you my kind of like reasoning behind why I think it's real as well. Because typically with a Merkin, the wig designer can fashion the hair really close together to kind of cover your split, your labia, majora, minora, whatever. You can't see anything. The way she's kind of angling her legs makes it feel like she's trying to cover her lady bits.
I noticed that too.
I feel like it's totally her bush, her cooch, her,
Yeah.
It's her.
No, that's a good call, and we don't even have. If you watch the whole scene, she literally walks around the house in that. She puts that black sweater on, and it comes down to like her belly button, and then she has this beautiful bush and butt as she walks around the house again in daylight, and actually goes outside and opens the door, and there's a guy standing out there by the car, and he comes in the house. It's crazy, Andrew. You would love this if you saw it.
Okay, I gotta add this to the queue.
Yeah. Vale Bloom in Too Late, number 6.
You know what I keep thinking too? We have so many discussions on this show about whether like it's really her boobs or whether it's a Merkin. We need what they have on NFL games. We need that NFL official to come on after we throw the challenge flag, and tell us like after further review the breasts stand as called or something like that.
Well, I've said that for me now, the Merkin is the toughest call.
It is.
And I'd like to consider myself that judge, but I have to say that even the Merkin has been like you show me if it's a body double or the actress, I could tell. You show me if it's real or fake. I feel pretty good about that in the boob department. You show me a merkin, I'm not always feeling good, but in this instance, due to the it just seems like when it is a merkin, it just is so much thicker and crazier. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't see people with like
they get really indulgent with merkins. You're right.
It's overboard.
Right, no question. Yeah,
I'm like, really, who has that much pubic hair for real?
Even if you wanted to, yeah. And then they feel it's such a big wig that they almost feel like they're wearing panties, so they don't have that that feeling like they're nude, and you could kind of just tell. But in her case,
it's more of a freedom.
Vail Bloom, you brought it up. She was like, she's kind of twisting her angle of her legs to kind of hide the bush.
She's being conservative. Yeah. She doesn't want to expose her cooch.
Yeah.
I get it. I've been there.
Yeah. All right. So's Jimmy. Yeah.
Hey. A different career. That was two careers.
That was a great number 6.
So that was number 6, and I got to say, the more I watch this could sneak up. The year's not over yet. I could move that up. But
nice.
Anyway, so that was an amazing nude scene. Now, another one. Did you see? If you're a fight fan out there, there was a movie called Hands of Stone.
Yes,
which was about Roberto Duran.
Yes.
He's the guy that had the famous No Mas with Ray Leonard, and he had a great career, but a lot of people never forgave him for the No Mas thing. And Robert De Niro plays his trainer in this, but there's this girl who's actually Cuban. Her name is Ana de Armas. She's Cuban, so she's probably bummed out about the whole Fidel Castro thing. But
I thought that was Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones.
No. Yeah, she looks like her. Good call.
Wow.
Yeah. But she has a sex scene in there, and the guys in my office just absolutely love her. And you don't get to see hot little Cuban babes do nude scenes too often due to some restrictions from them leaving the country.
Now that the embargo's over,
the embargo.
This is what nobody talks about. This is why Obama lifted that embargo.
Yeah, but anyway, the movie's called Hands of Stone, and it's a very, very hot sex scene. She starts in one room on a chair. She's riding the guy, and then they go into the bedroom and continue the show. And
incredible breasts.
How great are those breasts, Andrea? And
incredible.
I respect your opinion, of course.
But I mean, those are amazing.
Yeah. So everyone out there, please check that out. All this whole list, of course, will be at MrSkinPodcast.com. So now we're down to the 4th best movie nude scene of 2016, in my opinion. And I got to tell you, and sometimes maybe the length of the scene or something isn't quite what you'd expect. But when you look at the celebrity of the actress and her maybe lack of nudity and what happens in the scene, that kind of puts it over the top. And that's exactly what happened at number 4 for me, which is Aubrey Plaza in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, which was really, when you go back and watch this movie, man, did this had some great nudity. But at the hour and 33-minute mark, Aubrey Plaza, who's best known as April from the television show Parks and Rec, she was on that show. She has a great following. She literally, Andrew, when we showed this the last time, you were going nuts because it's weird. Like, what's the guy's name? Adam Devine, who I know you might know him from. He played on Modern Family, the oldest daughter, Sarah Hyland's boyfriend, and he's a funny guy. She is riding his cock while standing in a barn.
Yes. So weird.
Isn't it so weird? Now
it's like this can't be actual.
You'd have to have like
there can't be anything going on.
Like a 45-degree angle cock or something. Yeah.
I think that leads to the level of it being preposterous. Which makes it for a funny movie like this.
Yeah, he almost had to have a boomerang cock, because imagine he's sitting on a chair and they're in a barn. So he's on a chair and she is standing upright, jumping up and down as he leans back. So I don't know how
the only thing I could think she could actually be doing, if this weren't just complete farce, was maybe just grinding her clit on his dick.
I don't know. Yeah.
But it's hilarious. But the thing I love about it is the nudity, the butt bouncing up and down unceasingly. This isn't a glimmer of a jiggle. This is her literally jumping up and down on her tippy toes for a long, sustained amount of time.
Due to a lack of nudity, I had no idea Aubrey Plaza had a butt like this. Like, I'm seriously considering this for the best butt of 2016 for my Anatomy Awards.
Got a great ass.
Oh my God, is that great? And by the way, I just noticed a horse in the background. Did you notice the horse in the background?
I did not notice that.
Which brings me to my point, Skin. I've seen more disturbing sex acts in a barn than the one you're upset about right now.
Yeah, I ain't upset about it, but that horse isn't either. He had a great view, but boy, does she she really has a wonderful thing. And by the way, there's other moments in this Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. There's a scene where it's just out of nowhere. This guy walks in. This Adam Devine walks in the sauna, and Aubrey Plaza is with this Alice Wetterlands is her name, and they're just talking, and they're in towels. And Aubrey Plaza has her finger under the towel. She's like jerking her off as they're talking. Yeah. And Adam Devine freaks out and goes crazy because it's, not to ruin the story, but he freaks out. But it's weirdly sexy. So imagine these two beautiful girls in a sauna wearing towels, and they cut to them, and Aubrey Plaza's talking to her while she strokes her clitoris. It is an amazing scene. And that's just one of the many great nude scenes in this movie.
Yeah, it's a winner.
All right.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on ever seeing this movie. I was just going to look at the nude scenes that you kind of highlighted, but maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, all this stuff. And there was another thing that I remember showing you guys where Sugarland Beard comes out, and it's a funny name that she has because she is wearing a merkin because they really make fun of how big her muff is, but it's her breasts and stuff. But when I look back at this movie, this is one of the best movies for nudity of 2016. So it's called Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. But for me, the scene with Aubrey Plaza bouncing up and down on Adam Devine's penis is an amazing and my fourth best nude scene of 2016.
Sold.
All right, I can't wait for 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Well,
all right, gearing up.
Yeah, number 3 is Ellen Page and Into the Forest and Tallulah. That's one of the reasons I bumped her up, because she not only was naked in one movie, she did 2 movies where she showed her breasts, and she's really hot. People know her, like she was the star of Juno in 2007. Right. That's where she really, I guess became well known.
Broke out.
Yeah, and I guess she's a lesbian in real life. Did you guys know that? I don't know.
Which makes her even hotter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Juno digs Puno. So yeah, she, but yeah, she was in a bunch of movies where I thought she was going to get naked, and then she didn't. Then all of a sudden this year, this Into the Forest and Tallulah, she was topless, and I knew she had a nice rack, but until I saw it, I am a big Ellen Page rack fan after I saw these 2 movies. Really great topless shots in both, and also a very great rack, so it was worth the wait.
What would you say that is? Is that a D, Andrea?
No.
What do you think, a C?
That's an A or a double A.
Oh, is it okay?
No. You think she's an A?
Look at
the top
Page?
one. Ellen Page.
Top one.
I mean, she could be ovulating. I do not think she's bigger than an A. I swear to you. I would bet you, Jimmy. I know you're a big gambling man. If you want to put money on it,
I would know. Hold on a second.
100 cash right now. I'll PayPal it to you.
Stop it. No, you would know, but it wears on her. It wears bigger. It looks bigger.
Yeah, I was thinking B. I was thinking B, but that's all right.
It's the angle. She's laid back. The entire kind of everything of her boob, all the mass is pushed up to her chin and the one, and then down. She's hanging. So everything that's in her boob is now hanging down. I do think now, the more I'm looking at it, I'm going to go solid A, definitely not B.
Okay. Wow. I am betting then. I am not betting.
Let's turn the page because, anyway, so Ellen Page is her 2 nude scenes were my third best of 2016. But then the second one, this one, you know how there's just feedback you get from people might also affect a little, but when you see this, it's from a movie called The Handmaiden, which is a Korean film about just a girl that becomes a handmaiden for a wealthy Japanese woman. And so I got, in the last probably month, I've had a guy that's voting for the Oscars that they have to watch the screeners of movies that I know. He hit me up. He's like, dude, have you seen The Handmaiden? It's unbelievable. And he's like, he could give a shit about what the movie was like. It's just the lesbian scenes in this. No actresses you guys ever heard of, but it's just so graphic and so crazy. Yeah. It's not quite Blue is the Warmest Color level scissoring and 69ing, but it is amazing. And
I've never seen 2 Korean actresses do this.
Oh yeah,
I have watched almost every Korean movie that you could ever imagine. I have never seen this.
All right, well,
this is nuts. Is this in English?
You're gonna have to bring there's subtitles.
Bring this to Christmas.
Yeah. You gotta bring the hubby to check this one out because
he's gonna go bananas.
Yeah. So anyway, the movie's called The Handmaiden, and not only did I have this guy that was voting for the Oscars hit me up, like go nuts about it and say, want to know if I saw it. I had 2 housewives or women that live in my town that never would like talk about this kind of stuff, where they literally hit me up and said they saw this in theaters. I think it came out in October, and they're like, "Oh my God, I went to see The Handmaiden. Do you know about this movie?" Like, I'm not going to know about the movie, but I don't know if they wanted me to give my critique, but I was like, "Yes, isn't that crazy?" They were like, they were even like, one even said to me like, "God, after watching that, I'd let my husband have one of, I was like, okay, too much information, but the point is, I'm getting great feedback from other people who've seen this. It's not just me that thinks that the nudity in The Handmaiden is off the charts. And if you haven't seen this, of course, MrSkinPodcast.com will have a scene you could enjoy. But trust me when I say this is lesbian heaven. This nudity in this movie.
It's aggressive too. It's not like I experimented in college. It's not like that kind of hookup. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's pretty gangster skin.
Yeah, you'll have North Korea when you see this. Yeah,
I love the fact that it even gets a little BDSM. I'm noticing Benoit balls, but the aggression that Jimmy's talking about, but the beauty of it, and the kind of the juxtaposition of like these beautiful, soft, meat Korean girls that are just like so hitting it hard. It's hot.
Yeah, it is, and I'm only showing you.
Snippets.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, this is just a couple of the moments. There's much more to see in this movie.
You're just giving us the clit notes.
Very good.
Look what I did.
Very good.
Wait a second. You, Skin.
Yeah, I like that.
And a pun.
That was great.
No, let me write that one down. I may use that in the future.
The clit notes.
But anyway, so that was my number 2. So of all the nudity I saw in 2016 from the movies, I do have a number 1, and I watched this again just to make sure I'm not, my list still makes sense, because when I saw this, I felt this was going to be my favorite movie nude, and I just had to watch everything again to make sure. And I watched it again, and it's Yvonne Strahovski from Manhattan Night. And she was the girl that played Sarah Walker on Chuck and also played Hannah on Dexter, had never done a nude scene before. She starts in this movie. So Adrian Brody plays a reporter investigating a mysterious death of a guy who happens to be this woman's husband. So I watch the scene again, and she is in the shower. This guy sneaks into her apartment, or he doesn't sneak in, it's doors open, and you don't know at the time, like, did she let him in and all that. So imagine, like, he's spying on her in the shower, Andrea. It just so happens that she's masturbating in the shower, and he's spying, and Adrian Brody gets caught. Now, it probably was because she saw his nose, so it's like,
but sneak up with that.
But I got it. Yeah, you cannot, no sneaking up with that, but
it's at least a B cup.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, right. Anyway, next thing you know, she sees him. She comes out. He's embarrassed. He's like, "I'm sorry. The door was open," and he's a reporter. Only in the movies. Next thing you know, she flashes a little ass from the towel, and then they go at it up against the wall. And it is so hot, especially from how beautiful she is and how she had never done a nude scene before. And it really, truly is an amazing nude scene. And if you don't mind Adrian Brody in it, you'll really love it. But it kind of makes awesome.
It better.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he's not someone that you'd be like, damn, he's fine.
Yeah.
But watching how turned on by her he is, and watching the way he's attacking her body in such a sexy and focused way, it makes it so hot.
It is good acting by him, because I don't think he's attracted to women, right?
No, we don't know that. Here's another thing for guys, which makes this great. I'm also a big fan of when the actress is completely nude and the guy is completely clothed. As
he's wearing a wool sweater.
Yes. Yes. And so Adrian Brody, fully clothed, banging her up against the wall. And plus, keep in mind, you also get the bonus of him spying on her masturbating in the shower. So it's a full package of nudity of Yvonne Strahovski from Manhattan Night.
it really like this actually does use too like so many elements of real porn. You know, this happens in like real porn where it's like that spontaneous.
And you're always like, oh yeah, that would happen. And then it happens in a movie. Like if you walked into a girl's apartment that's gorgeous and you were spying on her and you barely knew her, what's going to happen? She's going to, she's going to shoot you, mace you, or call the cops. Yet he gets to bang her in the hallway. So.
Well, I say this all the time. I think porn is creating like a public health crisis because there's a whole generation of kids who've grown up on it. Who really...
And they think it's normal.
Yes, who like, they go to the Department of Motor Vehicles thinking they have a shot. They go up to the counter to like renew their registration or like play your cards right. You might get laid on the counter. You know, that's where I believe porn is steering our youth in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I always think about that for myself. Like it was such a challenge and so hard for me as a kid to find nudity. You know, it wasn't until I got cable television when I was a senior in high school that I had access other than Playboys I could steal. You know what I'm saying? So could you imagine, Jimmy, like being in 8th grade and having access to full porn? Like,
and the crazy stuff, too.
Oh, and we wouldn't be just looking at... Jimmy and I wouldn't be searching missionary position, you know?
No, I remember when I was like a senior in high school and I was 18 and I was, the internet was like really booming and I had AOL online and I was looking up stuff just out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I was looking at weird stuff.
Me too. You know what's funny? Like when I first... my wife and I first moved in together, do you remember LimeWire?
Oh my God.
So we get like music and videos.
Yeah.
So I would just literally type in like any type of porn search you could think of and just wipe out my computer. Like LimeWire. Do you remember you just download every virus imaginable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that's back when you didn't know how to fix, like you didn't have proper protection. Yeah. On many levels.
Now these kids can look up stuff on their iPhones that they're given in the 4th grade and there's no... it's crazy.
It's funny, though.
You probably had dial-up, too, when you were doing that.
Yo,
I did. I got in trouble for the hours I was using online.
It's funny how, like, like older people lived and got to have sex when there were no STDs.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
No AIDS.
We're living in the cyber version of that, where you can get porn now without wiping out your computer.
Yeah.
So it's like
excellent observation.
Yeah, that was free love. Like the 60s and 70s was free love. Yeah. We live in the free porn era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you won't contaminate your computer. Nobody says this, but that was Steve Jobs' greatest contribution to society. That the virus
and his least intended, right?
Yeah, of course.
He really, really did not want anything porn related. Still on my phone, it will autocorrect words that have anything to do with sexuality. It's so preposterous.
That is funny. But because what I think is funny about that, Andrea, is how your phone gets a sense for the words you type the most.
Oh my God.
Recommends them as suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed like a couple of times where my phone will autocorrect to like a depraved term. And I'm like, I'm trying to type like takeout and it's like chokes her. You know what I mean? I'm like, whoa, what am I searching in this phone here?
Yeah, I realized I actually speak with a very urban and ghetto lexicon because I'll start typing like it's and it's like the bomb fool. I'm like, I wasn't what? I'm like, no.
Yes.
It's pretty funny.
Autocorrect says a lot about a person.
That is
it's
funny.
really bizarre. Well, I am so pleased with this list. I mean, honestly, from 10 all the way to 1, I was really, really blown away by the work you've done, Mr. Skin.
Well,
very
and
impressed.
let me just tell you, this was the top 10 movie nude scenes of 2016. I still have 2016's best TV nude scenes, which I think is really going to blow you away. So it only gets better from here. And this was a very solid list. I was very happy with this. When I mark these down when they come out, and then I'm like, God, will it, stand the test of time? That I've seen this before? Is it as good as I remember? A couple months back, and then when I watched all these, I was pretty happy. So especially 1 and 2, everyone will be very, very happy when they check that out.
Yeah, this was a winner.
I'm stoked.
Episode number 22 did its thing, man. It did its thing. And now we're off now we're off to a week of Christmas parties. Listen, I hope we can make it back here. I hope we can make it back. I'm following the Andrea Lowell plan of moderation. I am going to
just eat and drink out, like I'm saying. Moderate for the whole month, knowing you're going to pig out certain days. Don't let the guilt set in, and just go back to your normal diet of wellness the next day.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
You have to live life on life's terms, and part of life's terms are you're going to have gluttony with the fam. So just go with it and accept it and have no guilt about it.
I like it.
I'm going to smoke crack as we speak.
Yeah.
I'm pulling a Mikey.
All right, let me know how that
and
is,
that
because
again
I'm still
for 17 days.
Yeah, call me if you guys
that's the
want
way.
to. Call me if you guys want to buy a DVD player on the cheap. I'm going to be full blown crackhead in about 3 hours. But no, this was.
Oh my Lord!
a lot
Hopefully
of
Jimmy
fun.
makes it back next week.
Yeah, I'll
if
be
you
listening.
are absent from the show, we know why.
I know, it's so funny. I can't even lie now. I've outed myself. No, what a fun week. And yes, I will see everybody in 7 days, and I'm excited to hear what goes on between now and then, you guys.
Fantastic.
All right, guys.
We'll talk soon,
Talk
guys.
next
Bye,
time.
everybody.
All right.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.